And there we are. Good morning, Cochise County. October 1st, Friday, October 1st, 2021. First day of the new month. So we're back online.
The military fiscal year.
I took a September. I needed a little bit of a break, so I took a little bit of a break for September, but I'm back here in October. One of the things, the Warrior Healing Center has been running at half speed right now. They recently had leadership team had gotten hit hard with COVID, so they're rebounding and they'll be back and stronger than ever in the coming weeks. And we wish them the best of health and pray for them to get better. But the Warrior Healing Center is running. And if you have any questions or you still need any help, they are here to assist you. You just need to be patient with them. So, having said all that, good morning once again. Michael Zehr here. And today's special guests, I'm really excited to have these two gentlemen with us today. We have on my far left over there, Ed Mealy.
Hi.
And in the middle here, soon to be retired, Ed Stone. Ed, thank you for joining. So the three Stooges are in the house now, so you can pick which one you want to be.
Awesome. Well, so I'm at 205 anyway, so
I'm the original Ed.
So to get started, what I wanted to find out, talk to Ed Mealy first. He's the chairman of the Elks Veterans Committee, which Ed and I both serve on. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
My pleasure.
Where were you at? Where was home before you enlisted in the Army? You served Army, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I grew up in San Diego, which was primarily a Navy town. And my dad was retired Army, which is probably one of the reasons I went in the Army, because I grew up in a Navy town and I saw how poorly the Navy guys were treated there. But my dad actually tricked me into the Army. I was seriously in high school. Wasn't going to graduate. I was a smart kid, but I learned how to get my surfboard on the bus instead of going to school. And one Sunday morning, he woke me up, took me to breakfast, and lo and behold, a recruiter popped his head into the restaurant and said, "Hey, what's going on, Mr. Mealy?" And wham, bam, you like camping? You like backpacking? And $2,500 to join the infantry for 4 years, and I swear 2 days later I had a drill sergeant screaming at me to get off the bus.
What year was that?
That was 1974.
1974, okay. And where did you go for basic training?
I did both my basic and AIT at Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Louisiana, huh?
Yeah.
Humid there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was swampy. It was, the Vietnam War was still kicking. I mean, we didn't get out of there until 75. So some units, basic training classes before me were still sending soldiers over there. And so it was real live training. I mean, they were really getting us ready to fight. And, and consequently later on, I figured out that was some real training. I mean, we got into, later, 78, I was still in, and it was a whole lot of marching and a whole lot of, but, in 74, it was some good training. I mean, we were riding in the helicopters with the doors open and, things like that. So I enjoyed that portion of the training. It was real life training. And then later I got into the electronics field. So I didn't want TA-50 anymore.
So you, after basic training and AIT at Fort Polk, you were infantry. Where was your first duty assignment?
I went to Fort Lewis, Washington, where I was straight-legged infantry for a couple years.
So you went from humidity to rain.
Oh, it was beautiful up there.
You liked it, huh?
Yeah, we did some adventure training, backpacked to the Olympic Mountains for a couple weeks, which are memories that, I still hold dear. Good. Well, I was young, I was strong, I mean, the training was, go out and hike to that mountain and then force march back, so, I mean, I was in good shape. Backpacking was a passion, and I couldn't even think about doing it now, though. I mean, I have a hard time getting up 2 flights of stairs.
And how long were you at Fort Lewis for?
Couple years.
For 2, and then what was your next duty station?
Korea.
You went to Korea after that.
Did Camp Casey, Korea, where I was a 113 driver.
What's that?
Mechanized infantry.
Okay.
So I drove the APCs, the armored personnel carriers.
Okay.
Which was a lot of fun. You know, I mean, again, you know, real life training over there because of the DMZ. And I was over there right after the Pammy John incident where they chopped down the tree. I think it was Pammy John. What am I thinking of? Well, anyway, there was an incident where the North Koreans and the South Koreans, the U.S. military went out to chop down a tree that was in the way of viewing. And the North Koreans came out and beat a bunch of them to death with
really
axe handles and things like that. And so it was really tense in the DMZ. I was there during that period where, I mean, they were issuing us live ammo and stuff like that when we were doing night patrols in the DMZ. That's really the closest I came to war, was in the DMZ during those. And then there was a Black Hawk shot down in the DMZ. We had to secure the AO. So that was all, you know, when I was young, you know, before I was 21. Yeah, and then after that, I went to Fort Ord.
Fort Ord, California. Okay.
Where I ETS'd got out, went to Palm Springs, and became a burden on society for about 30 months.
How long had you been on active duty at that time?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. Boy, you did a lot in 4 years.
A lot. I mean,
right?
A lot of my really, really good memories are in those 4 years. No lie. It was an interesting time. I grew into a man at that time.
And then did you go back later? Or did you have like a break in service or
I had a break in
anything,
service for 30 months.
Okay.
I got married. I had a little girl. And I decided the Army was the way to go with, you know, the benefits that they had. And, you know, you really couldn't get fired unless you know, I mean, even if you really messed up, they put you in counseling and things like that. So for me, it was a nice, secure place where as long as I kept my head straight that, you know, I wasn't going to get fired or anything like that, and turned into a career, which I totally enjoyed.
Now, because I had taken some time off, I forgot to mention this, that if we do have any live viewers right now, if you do have any questions for any of us, you can post it in the comment section, and I'll pop it up here on the screen, and then you guys can interact with us. So if you do have any comments or questions, please make sure to forward them up to us. Okay, so then you go back in after a break in service, and then what's next?
Well, like I said, I didn't want TA-50 anymore. So
Right.
I didn't want any kind of, you know, I didn't want a backpack and a, you know, a sleeping bag and things like that. So I got into electronics, did my training at Fort Gordon, Georgia, which is where I did all my leadership schools. That's where the Signal Center was. Then went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I was in the 101st for a while.
101st Airborne?
Air Assault at that
Air
time.
Assault?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still air assault.
Yeah,
It is still? Okay.
101st Air Assault. You know, did that for a couple of years. I worked on crypto equipment, and then went to Germany. Spent 4 years in Worms, Germany, which again was a kick in the pants. I mean, because of the MOS, we were outlying, so you know we weren't really near a base, and so everything was separate rations. Everything was, you know, you got to know the locals real well, learn to speak a little German. You know, I was lucky. I was over there, and even though I had a couple soldiers' cars, I had a BMW that was rusted out in the bottom. I had a Mercedes that could fit the whole family in there. But you know, I bought them for like a couple $300 each.
Your hoopties.
And I had my motorcycle, my Harley over there, an old '69. And so I could write home and I could write to my friends and say, "Oh, I'm over here in Germany with my Harley and my BMW and my Mercedes." And everybody thought I was doing much better than I was. So it was some good bragging points. Plus the mark was crazy when I was over there.
Mm-hmm.
The mark was went up to 4 or 5 to the dollar. People were buying cars and houses like crazy. So
Wow.
it was a good time to be over in Germany. And then to Fort Huachuca for a while.
Oh, you were actually stationed here, huh?
Stationed here for twice,
Wow.
actually.
Fort We Got You.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't going nowhere.
Came here, worked up at CSLA, teaching full level electronics on the
Well, that's an organization I haven't heard of in a long time.
yeah.
CSLA. Yeah.
The problem with that was, and a lot of these guys that you know, even Ed here, that the problem with working at CSLA is it was at Greeley Hall. You had to walk up the stairs and walk right past the general and the command sergeant major's office to get to where I was going. So every morning I had to pass that office, and you know, sometimes I was a little bleary-eyed, or you know, my hair wasn't combed just right, or you know, so kind of sneak by that office. Okay, so then after Germany came Fort Huachuca. And then I had a really kind of a weird thing happen to me where, you know, you used to be able to call your branch manager and kind of figure out where you were going to go next. He said, I have this open or I have this open. I was trying to get somewhere and he said, no, I got you on special assignment. He said, you're going to be the NCOIC of the Army War College.
What?
And, oh my Lord, my head got this big, I swear.
Yeah.
I mean, I was walking through doors. It was, you know, Army War College. And I'll tell you a funny story. When you know, I got my motorcycle, I load it in the back, the kids, and we drive to Pennsylvania, up to Carlisle Barracks, Pennsylvania, where the Army War College is. And it takes us 3 days to drive up there because I'm so happy and the family's so happy. And, you know, we drive maybe 150 miles and stop and get in the pool and cool out. We get up there the very first day the sergeant major calls me. We have breakfast together. He tells me it's a bust. He says, I can't use you. It's a wrong MOS. I can't do a lateral for you.
Oh, man.
So I'm sorry. Can't use you. Tell me where you want to go. Give me 3 places. You know, and I said, Fort Huachuca, Fort Huachuca, Fort Huachuca. So he sends me right back to where I was before, you know, same place, everything. But I'll tell you what, when we were coming back, I was not in a good mood. And we got back in like 30 hours. You know, because I drove straight through. I was, man, I'm driving, and kids would go like, Daddy, I got to pee. And I'd be like, then go ahead. I mean, it was, yeah. But it was a blessing. You know, we got here and then our family blossomed. And this is where I retired in 95.
So you retired here in 95.
Yeah.
And then stayed. And then in a little while, we'll talk about your community activities here, too.
Sure.
So now we'll get to know Ed Stone here a little bit. So, Ed, where were you at when you enlisted?
So we actually lived in a little town called Whitehall, New York, birthplace of the United States Navy.
Hoorah.
Really?
Yes. We actually did Marines first, and we attended all of our what's called Kool-Aid meetings during our senior year in high school.
So you were a Marine Corps?
Yes.
Okay.
Semper Fi all the way, even still to heart. And yeah, so we graduated on the 22nd of June. This is 1984, so 10 years after you. All right. And then on the 26th of June, I was on a bus, or on a plane, then a bus to Parris Island, South Carolina.
Hoorah.
Spent a great summer vacation down there in Sand Flea heaven. So it was something else.
So where was what was your MOS?
I was a 0341. 81 millimeter mortars.
Yes.
That was my MOS.
Holy crap! So you used to shoot them?
Oh yes. Most
wow.
Oh. So we were attached to what's called a weapons company. You had 81s, 50 cals, and dragons.
I fired at a dragon.
Yes. So a lot of folks don't know what a dragon is.
Yeah, anti-tank missile.
So we were attached to a line company, and the funny thing with the line unit is every time they want to go out on a ruck march, right, we'd have to go out on a ruck march with them, but we also had to carry our crew-served weapons and stuff with us.
Base plates.
Yes, the base plates, the bipod, the barrels, the 50s, they had to carry all their stuff. Same thing with the Dragons. So, oh yeah, so
spare barrels.
Oh yeah,
name it, yeah.
On top of our regular pack, we also had our crew-served weapon we had to carry with us. So
remember the 90s?
I'm guessing
this is the 80s.
I'm guessing since that's what you did. I'm guessing, did you get any like hearing issues or back issues or anything?
Yeah,
so I do all that?
So right now they have classified me as moderate hearing loss. So I do have some hearing loss firing all that, and
lots of high frequency hearing for me, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Cigarette butts for earplugs.
Well, I was going to ask
Yeah.
you because I think back then when people were serving, they didn't really have the adequate ear protection.
all it
they
was is the little foamy things is what
Yeah.
I had when we first
Yeah.
came in.
And then
so.
if you didn't have them, they give you cigarette butts
Oh.
in your ears. Yeah, seriously.
Craziness.
So, where was your first duty assignment at?
My first duty assignment in the Marines was Adak, Alaska.
Really?
I have not heard of that place.
I
Adak,
haven't
Alaska is part of the Aleutian Islands.
Really?
So one of the books that I read, and obviously I arrived there on December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, 1984, right?
Torah.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the books that I enjoyed reading, which is very few because I'm not a big reader, is called Battle of the Aleutians. And it showed how the war progressed between us and the Japanese, right? Because the Japanese figured that if they could take the Aleutian Islands, that's a direct path right into West Coast, right?
Right.
Seattle, California, all that kind of thing. So, but what ended up happening was during the whole confrontation between us and Japan, they would lose more men and equipment due to the weather than what they did actual combat fighting, because you're talking about a whole bunch of islands out there.
Right.
A lot of folks probably know where Kodiak and stuff is. That was the main installation and stuff out there. But, they'd be out there flying with their planes, and next thing you know, you come out of the cloud cover, and next thing you know, right staring you in the face is a mountain.
Right.
So, so it's hard to, adjust to the climate and stuff over there. But funny story for there, right, is we took a weekend, and obviously we did a lot of, ruck marching out there and stuff like that. And the tundras were classified as their ground stuff out there. But on one of our patrols, we actually found an underground bunker that was used and stuff during the war. So what we did is myself and a couple buddies of mine, we picked up some chicken and some brats and everything else because it had a little stove and stuff in there. We spent the weekend in the outside in that bunker.
No kidding.
Wow.
Which was super cool.
Wow.
It was awesome.
I'll
It really
bet.
truly was.
Not bad.
So, but it was a lot of fun.
And Mike, thanks for joining us. He had a few comments here. He said to Ed over there, pee out the window, Dad.
Yes.
And then you got to love the base plate 0341. And so thanks for joining us. So you're in Alaska, and then where did you go?
So I went from there, and then my main duty station was Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And that's where I spent the rest of my time. Obviously,
Okay.
we did multiple overseas stuff where we went to Japan, we went to Thailand, my last place was Puerto Rico, we've been to Panama, where we did the actual jungle warfare training, compared to what they have down there in Florida.
Right, good
So,
stuff, yeah.
oh yeah, I got a nice picture of the hatchet and everything else and stuff.
Nice.
So, and then, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really, truly was. I have a jacket and stuff that's made up. It has U.S. Marines and stuff down the front of it with my name. Obviously, we were from New York, so I have the New York state flag. But on
Okay.
the left sleeve, I have all United States flags, all the places and stuff we've been. Obviously, North Carolina. Alaska is still classified as a U.S. place.
Right.
We've been to South Carolina, California. We did our desert warfare training out in California.
Port Irwin?
Yep. No, Camp Pendleton.
Camp.
Pendleton. 29 stumps is what we called it back then. I don't think
Is that 29 palms?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it's called
29
29
stumps?
pounds, but we call it because all it is just desert, right?
Yeah.
Pendleton
then-
in California.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
correct. Right. And then on the right sleeve is all my overseas. Once again, Puerto Rico,
Nice.
Thailand. I'll have to bring it in. And
Yeah, I'd like to
show
see
it you
that.
one day.
Yeah.
Because on the back, I had it embroidered with the Eagle Globe and Anchor, and you have two Marines and stuff leaning up on the side of it. And then on the back, they have what's called banana, what we call them, name tapes. It looks like an actual banana. Like we have a banana.
Got a
here.
prop?
That's right. But it has
He brought a
the actual
prop,
name.
yeah.
That's right, he did. But it has the actual name. So obviously it started up here on top with Paris Island, South Carolina, and it came down. And then what it does is it branches out on both sides of the embroidery for the units and stuff that we're with for the right side.
I
And
bet that's pretty handsome.
it is. It is. I would I'd kill for that jacket. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And
you can wear it to the Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Right. So you can see
I don't know if I can fit into it anymore because I'm about 40 pounds heavier than what I was way back then. So, but no, that's my what I classify as my pride and joy. It is.
Yeah.
Semper Fi.
All the way.
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but on the back wall back here, we have all branches represented. We got the Army flag right there, and then we got the Air Force football jersey over there, Navy hat right there, and then a Marine Corps T-shirt back. You can see it right there. So the only thing we're missing is a space helmet for the Space Force.
Coast Guard.
You know? Oh yeah, Rick Hackney was supposed to give me something for the Coast Guard to put up there. And he has something, I just haven't gotten with him. But I just thought it was nice that we had all of the services represented up there.
Speaking of all the services, I've always thought, and I say this humbly, because my dad was retired Army, I'm retired Army, most people. But the people I know that were in the Marines, they hold that more dear than the other services. I mean, I have plenty of Marine friends that, if I want to make them mad, I call them ex-Marines.
Oh, there's no such thing as ex-Marine.
Right,
it's always former.
Former Marine, right. I mean, so, and they're really the ones that get together like every year for the ball, for the Marine ball. I mean, there's just a lot of, I think there's a lot of camaraderie on all the services, but it seems like the Marines are just knitted a little tighter than the other ones.
I always heard the term "once a Marine, always a Marine."
Yeah,
Always.
right.
That's why I said it.
See, you don't hear that about like the Navy, or the Army or the Air Force. Don't call me an ex-Army guy.
That's right. Yeah.
So kudos to the Marines for that.
Oh yeah.
So then you're in 29 pounds, or as you called it, 29 stumps.
29 stumps.
So
yeah.
And then where'd you go from there?
The Army?
So then what we did is we did 4 years in the Marines. We officially got out in 1988.
Okay.
Then we had a break in service for about 7 years, and then I joined the Vermont Army National Guard. Right there in a little town called Rutland, Vermont, just below Killington and big old ski area and stuff like that.
Wow, break for 7 years.
7 years.
Wow.
And then we did National Guard for about 7 years.
Does the National Guard time, because I don't remember this, does that count towards retirement?
It does a little.
A little.
Because now you got to remember, National Guard is state compared to Reserve is federal.
Okay.
So we do, in reference to our calculation for our retirement pay, we are receiving about a little over 2 years based off of the 7 years we served.
Okay.
For our actual retirement pay. So, but it does add up and stuff in the end, which is good, which is great. As being obviously there in Vermont, we did a lot of our training up there in New York.
Well, when you're in the National Guard, and granted that it's state, but can't the president activate the National Guard, or is that strictly state control?
Right. So when 9/11 happened, all right, we were actually out in the field and stuff training.
Wow. Brought you in pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, and they did, and they actually activated our unit to go down to help out with the cleanup down in New York City.
Okay.
You got to witness all that?
No. So what actually happened is we were activated for about 3 or 4 days, and then they said, well, we don't need you. So, but
blessing.
But still, it's just kind of going through the process and being able to explain it and understand it, and this is how things work.
That was such a horrific day.
It was. It was. So,
yeah.
Here we are out in the field training and everything else, and we know how our commanders like to kind of beef up some of our training and make it feel like it's more realistic and stuff like that. So they actually said that, hey, somebody flew planes in the Twin Towers, so we were getting all motivated out there and work harder. So come to find out, it was an actual thing.
Yeah.
To where we thought it wasn't just part of the actual scenario,
yeah.
But it was an actual until somebody brought it up on their phone and said, hey, you know what, this is what actually happened. It's like, holy cow. No kidding.
Shocking.
So
Everybody seems to remember where they were that day, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So in the Vermont National Guard, we were also mechanized. We're 120 millimeter mechanized,
Okay.
and they took the 113s. All right, but because the suspension isn't heavy enough, not strong enough to hold the concussion for the round going off, they built what was called a 1086. I think it's 86 or 68, one of the two. All right, but it's basically your 113 beefed up with a heavier suspension in order to be able to fire the actual mortar round. So it was a lot of fun driving those.
It was fun.
Toggle switches and everything else. It was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
I enjoyed it.
You're one of the first veterans that I've had a chance to talk with that had mortar fire experience. I have to ask this question because Hollywood always glorifies everything. Can you really take a mortar round and pound it and then throw it like a grenade like they
I
did
have
in
never
Saving
seen
Private
that done
Ryan?
before.
Yeah,
I've
was
never
like-
seen that done.
yeah. I mean, they sit there and pound it.
I
and
mean,
then
isn't
they,
there a firing pin at the bottom
There
of
is.
the tube?
Yes,
where
there
it
is. Yeah, there's a
fires it
firing
off?
pin to where when it hits, then obviously, yes, that kind of triggers it.
Uh-huh.
And then when the nose of the round hits the ground, that's when it actually explodes.
Okay.
So, I mean, could it be possible? I'm sure it probably can, because once you hit that primer and then you throw it like a dart or whatever,
Right.
and then when it hits the ground, it'll explode. So, but I've
Stay
never seen
tuned
that
for the
happen.
next episode because we're going to try it.
I'll let you know how it comes out and stuff. Next thing you know, I'm armless, whatever.
Don't
But,
try this at home.
Yeah,
Bill.
yeah. Put a little disclaimer on that there and stuff. Make sure that you don't try this at home. But no, we never tried that. Funny story there is that so I married my sweetie in '99, and she actually came out and we did some training. All right, to where she actually got to fire the 120 millimeter
Really?
mortar. She got to put some rounds and stuff down range. We actually renewed our valves on the back of the track. All right, which was a lot of fun, and I have
Wow.
pictures and stuff of all that, so it was great. But
Man, you are a lifer.
I am. I just love it that much. But it was a lot of fun. It really truly was. You know, the place is escaping me. It's up there, the ski area in New York. They had the Olympics up there.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid? Yeah.
Yeah, so we were just outside of there. We were up there doing our training. Another god awful place is why I classify it as. That's right up there with Fort Polk, Louisiana. That's another god awful place.
Mm.
I've been there numerous times and stuff too. It's like, oh my god.
You got that nice
So-
town, Leesville, or wait, Sleesville?
It's crazy.
So how was it that you went from the National Guard, Vermont National Guard, to the Army? How did that happen?
The plant I was working in, it was a plastics plant. I ran what's called an extruder, which makes the plastic tubes for your wiring for like your cable and stuff like that. The company was talking about closing down, so I had to go do something in order to take care of my family. And the only other thing I know is the military.
Right.
So here's another funny story and stuff for you, right? Because I have all kinds of stories, right?
Cool.
So we went to talk to the recruiter. The first place we went to see the Marine recruiter. All right, because figure go back to the old roots, so forth and so on. So now, when I left the Marines, I was a Lance Corporal, E3.
Okay.
All right, National Guard, I was a Staff Sergeant, E6, looking at Sergeant First Class, E7. So when I went to talk to the Marine Corps recruiter, they said, "Oh yeah, we'll take you back as an E3, Lance Corporal."
What?
It's like, no way in hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, pardon
That's
my
a
French.
huge demotion.
Oh, it is. It's like there's no way I'm going from a Staff Sergeant E6
Right.
down to a Lance Corporal E3. So it's yeah, I love y'all and stuff, but y'all have a nice day. I went across the hallway to where the Army recruiter and stuff was, and said, "Hey, this is what we have going on. What can you do for me?" All right, once again, still a Staff Sergeant, so we agreed. When I came back to active duty, all right, this is now 2003. We were bumped down to a sergeant.
Okay.
All right, which was fine.
Still pretty good, yeah.
Yes, I had no issue. I did not want to be a specialist and have to go back through the promotion board and all that kind of craziness.
Right.
So we're still able to come back as an NCO,
That's
right,
good,
as
yeah.
a sergeant.
Especially after National
yeah,
Guard. That's
yeah,
good.
right.
Yeah,
It's
all that
state,
time, yeah.
right? So, and what we ended up doing was going MLRS. So we still stayed within the field artillery field. Instead of firing mortars, we're firing rockets.
Yeah.
So MLRS and stuff was fun. It was great. And once again, we were still driving and everything else and stuff. So, it was good. It was fun.
So you can go from active guard, and you can go like to see a recruiter, and then go right into active duty. You just
Yes.
can't do it from. What am I trying to ask?
So
You can
how
bypass.
it worked, right? So how it worked for us, all right? And you talk about comparisons between the other branches of service, right? Because we did Marines first, going to the Army, I did not have to go through Army boot camp.
Right.
Now, if you go in reverse, if you're going Army and you try and go into the Marines, you have to go through the Marine Corps boot camp.
Okay.
All right.
Did you do the Minuteman training? They have a thing called the Minuteman training
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. You know, when I went through, it was just 2 weeks of, you know, trying to remind you of, you know, who to salute and things like that. So
Kathy was asking MLRS. I'm not sure what that is.
Multiple launch rocket system.
Okay.
All right. So basically, what you have, all right, is you're in a track vehicle that has what's classified as rocket pods. All right, and you have 2 rocket pods, one on each side. Each pod will have either six rockets or 1 missile and stuff in it.
Wow.
So, all right. The great thing about MLRS, right? When you're firing your rocket, you want to talk about power, okay? You take a rocket pod that has 6 rockets in it, and if you fire all 12 rockets, you're taking out an entire grid square.
Wow.
1,000 meters.
1,000 meters.
Wow.
You're taking out an entire grid square. That is power.
Wow.
Wow.
No place to hide.
No, God, no. So, but no, it's multiple launch rocket system.
Okay.
All right. What they have now, they're on the back of HEMTs now instead of, they might still have the actual track vehicles, but, you know, they're thinking something a little bit lighter. With your track vehicle, you carry 2 rocket pods, and your HEMT is only 1. So, but it was good. It was fun.
Interesting.
And then Kathy was also asking, how often do those get used?
It depends on what's going on. I know that they were used quite a bit during the actual initial Gulf War. You know, when all that stuff kicked off. Once again, it's basically for support. You know, if you see an enemy convoy out there, fire some rockets on it, whatever and stuff, and there you go, the convoy's gone.
Okay. And then Mike Lawson was saying the Marines make you go through boot camp again if you have more than a 2-year break in service.
Okay. I didn't have to worry about that piece.
So you were saying that you went back and saw the Army recruiter and got enlisted, went back as in as an E5, and what was the next step?
So next step for us was Korea.
Korea.
That was the very first place we went. And once again, field artillery, we're a little bit closer and stuff to DMZ. We're actually at Camp Stanley.
I was at Camp Casey.
Yeah, we were at Casey. We actually did the Manchu Mile there at Camp Casey in Hovey. So I have the whole belt buckle and everything else stuff that goes along with that. But yeah, Korea was our very first duty station.
Your wife is a veteran or active?
She is not.
No? Okay.
No. Everybody asks that stuff too. It's like,
All
so my sweetie she's never worn a uniform.
Okay.
However, over the last 23 years now that we've been together, she's done a lot of stuff for the military.
Yeah, spouses serve just as well as the
And they
as
do.
the veteran,
She
that's
was
for sure.
FRG leader for 2 of our deployments. So she knows all too well of what service members and stuff go through.
Well, you know what? When we did the and I hope everybody knows that we did the Feed a Vet barbecue.
Right.
That we've actually done 2 of them, and we have 1 more where the veterans come to the Elks Lodge and eat for free. That this is the first year that we had the spouses eat for free also, because they serve.
Because they serve as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just a vote of the committee to ask them to join.
And it was the
for
right
free.
thing to do.
Absolutely,
It was,
yeah.
When you went to Korea, did you guys get? Did you have to go unaccompanied?
Yes.
Yes.
Because they don't allow
I was single.
dependents over
Well,
there.
no. So there is a difference. There's a difference between unaccompanied and a accompanied tour.
Yeah, I had friends
Tour-
that brought their families.
Yes,
Yeah.
but your stay is longer.
Yeah.
So if you go for an unaccompanied tour, you're only there for 1 year. If you go for a accompanied tour, we bring your family, you're there for 2
Okay.
2 years. So
And that's Korea. Like Germany, it's 2 years if you're unaccompanied, 4 years if you're accompanied.
Does Korea have housing then too, or do you
Yes.
have to live on the economy?
A lot of times they'll have places, outposts and stuff that you can
Okay.
you can live in. Just like in Germany, you can either stay on post or you can stay outpost. Because our next step after Korea was Germany. So we did what's called a COT, C-O-T. It's a consecutive overseas tour.
Okay.
To where I went directly from Korea to Germany, and then my sweetie met me in Germany.
And what was your rank at that time?
So I was a sergeant, and then when we arrived in Germany, I was promoted to staff sergeant.
Wow.
So.
And where at in Germany did you go?
We were at, once again, field artillery. We were at Babenhausen.
Babenhausen.
South, yeah.
We that place was actually closed down 2 years after we were there. They gave it back to the Germans.
Okay.
And this is now 2006.
Hmm.
All right. And then our next step was going MI, because once again, I'm looking at the future, right?
Right.
To where what's it going to look like on a resume and stuff to say, hey, guess what? I can blow things up.
Yep.
Right. But how's that going to look for an employer? And so I say, hey, I was field artillery. To where I was looking into something a little bit further on what it is and stuff I can do after the military. And obviously being MI, military intelligence, working on computers. You know, I went in as an intel analyst.
Nice.
So, and then my thought as an actual analyst, you can work for any three-letter agency, you can work for any company, because everybody needs an actual analyst to kind of do your projection on, you know, where can we see this company going, and you compile all your information. So that was my thought.
And also, doesn't MI have a fast track for promotions or no?
Yes. So when we completed our training for MI, we were automatically promoted to Sergeant First Class.
Really?
Wow.
See, I thought it would have been in the other way around. Because usually combat arms is where you pick up your rank. I mean, as a matter of fact, when I was up at Fort Huachuca, there was a guy that we called him the Snake Eater, because he got his he got all his rank in the infantry, and then he came over to electronics, and you know he was a novice at electronics, but he could tell you how to kill a guy in 9 seconds, 10 different ways.
That's right. Yeah.
Which looks good on a resume.
It does, yes, most definitely.
And Mike wants to know, he said, did you fly west from Korea to Germany, or did you go the long way?
Oh, I just went from straight to Korea to Germany. I don't know. This was...
But you did fly, though, right?
Yes,
I mean,
I flew. You're talking, God, this is 2004 now.
Uh-huh.
So...
Long boat ride.
Yeah, no, I flew. I did not... As my sweetie said, all of our equipment took a cruise. They were on a ship.
Yeah.
All right, but for us and stuff, we had to fly, and obviously she flew over and stuff as well. But
it's a long flight.
But all of our stuff, went on a cruise and stuff to get to Germany.
And so now you're here at MI, and then you complete your class. You're promoted to E7, and then what?
So, and then we go right to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay.
Where we spent 6 years on Fort Campbell.
Okay.
Division of Destiny.
Yeah, right. So, to where we were with the DSTB, Division Special Troops Battalion, deployed with them to Afghanistan. And then we went over to be with the 2nd 506. I was one of the last white Curries.
Oh, so you went to Afghanistan?
Yes. I've been to Afghanistan 4 times.
4 times?
So with DSTB, we deployed to Afghanistan. 2nd 506, we deployed to Afghanistan. So, we spent just about 6 years on Fort Campbell.
I would like to ask you, since you've been to Afghanistan, and then you know what our troops went through right there, what we sacrificed to try and liberate that company and keep Kabul, safe. And I mean, can you imagine being a kid growing up, right? Not being under the rule of the Taliban. You guys are over there. You put in all that blood, sweat, tears, and all of a sudden we're pulling out, which, okay, maybe we didn't need to be there anymore, but it's kind of like the way the pullout happened. It upset a lot of not Afghanistan veterans. What's the right term for vets that served over there?
We're just deployed personnel.
Just deployed personnel?
So, yeah.
But how did you feel how that went down? Did that kind of bother you at all, or you just...
I have my own personal thoughts. I'm going to keep
Do you think it was time that we left, or no?
like I said, I'm
Okay.
You know what, though?
let
me, if you don't mind.
I respect that, though. I do.
Yeah.
And thank you for going over there, and thank you for serving.
Indeed.
I do appreciate that, really.
You know, on that note, and this isn't my thought. These are just some things from generals and people and hardcore veterans that Gold Star families and
Right.
people that left limbs and things over there. That it'd be a shame if people thought that it was like Vietnam, where we didn't do anything. I mean, we went over there, we were a presence for 20 years, and then we left, and it was exactly the same or even worse. It's not. It's, in 20 years, the infant mortality rate went down to almost, like from 50% to like 5%, and I'm making those numbers up, but I mean, there was a drastic, we
Right.
really lifted that country up by being there. I
Right.
mean, education went straight up, women's rights and their education went straight up. So, I mean, when we got there, it was a hellhole, and when we left, it was moderate, so as long as the Taliban doesn't, totally go back to their, head chopping ways, then I think
Right.
that some of the things that the U.S. did over there will remain forever. And, God bless America.
And Ed Stone here, Kathy said, cheers and prayers and healing to you. What has happened over there has been hard for folks who served there, and also your efforts there made a huge positive impact on all lives over there.
Indeed.
Ed is right. So.
And it did. One of our deployments, because after Fort Campbell, we went to Fort Hood,
where I was born.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Fort Hood, Texas.
Yeah, and we spent almost 7 years on Fort Hood. Once again, 2 separate units, 2 separate deployments. Right, but one of the deployments, this was 2014. We were classified as advisors. So I was sitting in an actual sergeant major position, but I was a senior enlisted advisor to the senior national Afghan National Army. So I had direct contact and stuff with the senior leaders and stuff that were there, to, as a leader, as we talk about things, coach, teach, mentor, right? We do the same exact thing and stuff for them, to where, these are some of the things and stuff that we would do given this situation. And
should we redact some of this?
I'm thinking, Kathy's watching, and her husband Tim served over there. He had a few tours, and I don't know if you've met Tim, but if not, you two should meet and talk, because I think you guys would really hit it off. Because
that'd be
good people here.
We can do that.
So, because we're running a little bit here on time, and I could talk to you guys for hours. I really could, because you're so easy to talk to. These guys are just like so cool. If you ever see them, they're very approachable. If you ever go to the Elks, or if you ever see them, you both are. Yeah, you are. They're great guys, and that's what I want to segue into, because Kathy asked another question, which I appreciate all the activity. She wants to know, when is the next Feed the Vet event?
And so
you
that's
know when
something
we have that scheduled?
No, we don't have that one scheduled as
Not
of yet.
Is it going to be in December, I thought, or no?
It probably won't be until after the first of the
Well,
year. That's
you know what, the committee has been. We didn't choose. We did choose 3 dates,
right?
And then by doing so, they turned out to be not very good dates,
right?
So we try to do it when people can actually come on the weekend. Like our last one was the POW MIA,
a great ceremony too, very moving.
Very moving ceremony, yeah. The Elks officers did a very nice ritual ceremony, and then immediately following that, we did the barbecue. But the next one is still, the committee's kind of tossing around some dates,
right.
But it's actually part of an Elks National Foundation grant that we got, $2,500 from the Elks National Foundation,
which is in Chicago.
And what they do is they give us $2,500 to help support the local vets in our community in however we see fit. What we try to do is let them know that we thank the vets and we haven't forgotten their service, even if it's 2 years or 30 years like Ed.
Right.
We bring them in and we thank them and we put a little flag in their hamburger and feed them and their wives. But because of COVID, things were kind of shaky the first feed a vet, and we have one more that's we'll let you know, but it's going to be the exact same thing. It'll be vets eat for free, spouses eat for free, and that's
and guests were $5.
$5 for a $10 meal. I mean, we're giving you a drink and everything.
Heck yeah.
And it's for the vets. So I mean, it's not like you're going to McDonald's and all the money's going to Ronald. It's it's going to support the local veterans.
So Kathy, to answer your question though, when we find out when the committee has a meeting, I promise I'll give you a flyer and I'll put more information out on that here at the Warrior Healing Center and talk about it on the live stream because.
Thank you for asking, though.
One thing we want to do is that's what this is all about. It's about supporting veterans in Cochise County, not Sierra Vista, not Hereford, the whole county. And I don't even think at the Elks, they don't even care if you're not even from the county, right? You could be here visiting. If you're a vet, hey.
Right.
And that's what's great about the Elks.
I'd also like to say that we feed homebound vets also.
Yes.
So each barbecue that we've had so far, we've taken 25 to-go meals to homebound vets. And, anybody that would like to, have food delivered to them when we do that next one.
And guess who the delivery driver is? Would they raise their hand, please?
Which is an honor. I mean, the last batch I got to take, which was just recently, like I said, for the PWMIA Day.
Wasn't it
I was there so long delivering the food because, the veterans come in and I get a chance to interact with them. We were talking about basic training with some of them. And we're talking about, folks that served in Korea and served.
And didn't you take meals like 20 to 25? About 25?
Two different times. Yeah.
Two different times. Yeah.
So. And they're super appreciative of what the Elks are doing for them, and it's an honor for us to provide for them.
Well, I became an Elk because my dad is a past exalted ruler in Lake Havasu, and he's been active in their lodge for, I don't know, Dad, if you're watching, let me know, but I'm gonna guess at least 30 years, if not more. And I became an Elk because of him. He came down, did my initiation ceremony here. He was real proud, gave me an elk tooth that unfortunately got burned up in the Monument wildfire. But a lot of good memories and stuff. So I'm proud to be an Elk, and I wasn't very active. I decided to.
We're proud to have you on the team. I mean, you've brought a lot. You've brought a lot of.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to do my best to help everybody out that I can. But it's like right before the pandemic is when I started getting active, and I'm going down to the Elks, and then the roof damage, right, and that took forever to get fixed. Now the social room, and I wanted to ask because the Oktoberfest is this weekend at the Elks, and we're going to talk about that too. What's the status on the social room? Do we have any idea or updates right now?
It's looking very, very good.
Yeah, but no tentative date for when that'll open yet. I thought it was going to be this month, but I'm not.
I think it will be this month.
Yeah.
I think it'll be October. I know that Ed and I helped put in a freezer behind the bar. The thing that when the social room is open and the lodge is fully open, like right now the lodge is half open.
They're doing bingo now?
Bingo, things like that. The Veterans Committee functions are happening. The auxiliary committee's putting on the Oktoberfest, and then we have a haunted house later. But when the social room is open, it's kind of like the heartbeat of the lodge, where people meet there. Meals are served in there. It's a real fellowship kind of area that you can kind of prepare yourself for a lodge meeting or a committee meeting or things like that. So when it's closed and it's not open, you come in and it's kind of right to business, if you know what I mean. And that's good, but it's not as friendly. It's not as sociable, if you will.
Well, those of you that don't know, the Elks is the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the United States of America. It's a fraternal organization, and Ed was nice enough to provide me with this
Creed.
Ed. We got Ed 1 and Ed 2. I don't know if you can see that on there. It's a little blurry, but it's a mission statement. What the Elks does is to
Inculcate.
Thank you. You know what? You
can read it.
You got it. You're the committee chairman. You read it.
Fraternal organization. The mission statement: to inculcate the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity, to recognize a belief in God, to promote the welfare and enhance the happiness of its members, to quicken the spirit of American patriotism, to cultivate good fellowship,
Yep.
to perpetuate itself as a fraternal organization, and to provide for its government. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks of the United States of America will serve the people and communities through benevolent programs, demonstrating that Elks care and Elks share. Amen.
Amen. Mike is asking if women can join the Elks,
Yes.
which they can.
Absolutely.
So yes, they can. So since I mentioned Oktoberfest, here's another flyer brought to you by our good chairman down here on the end. The Oktoberfest is happening this weekend.
Starting this
Actually,
afternoon?
this afternoon it does start. It's going to run Friday and Saturday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's at 1 South Elks Lane in Sierra Vista. And ticket sales at the entrance, they're $1 a ticket. And then all the items sold are by ticket, like food, drinks, cakes, German menu, German beers.
I'll be working the food and the beer booth.
I'll be on the grill.
Yeah. These guys do love to cook.
Indeed.
And I thought there was one other. Oh, yeah, the haunted house. I don't know what I did with that one. Here it is. Our Elks also has the haunted house coming up.
Which is epic, by the way.
And it's going to be Friday and Saturday, the 23rd and the 24th of October. And Friday and Saturday and Sunday, the 29th through the 31st of October, from 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and 6:30 to 9:30 on Sunday. It will cost you, and I know this is a little expensive if you ask me. I don't know why, but 3 cans of three non-perishable food items, or $3. I mean, and the food goes to
Peaches
the
Pantry.
Peaches Pantry.
Yeah.
So it's a great
3 smoke
event.
machines.
Yeah.
3 smoke machines. Our secretary, Bear Carlisle, this is one of his
Oh yeah,
passions.
he loves Halloween.
Oh, it's one of his passions. And
Yeah.
I mean, and he has toys, and he has just a garage full of stuff that's going to scare the crap out of you. So bring the kids.
Bring the kids. Come on down to the Elks for the haunted house.
Could I breeze through this real quick?
You can. And Ed Mealy is also going to share a few of the programs and some of the happenings that are happening down at the Elks.
You already know that the Elks love the veterans. I mean, the committee that historically does the best is the Veterans Committee, because it's one of the reasons a lot of people enter into the Elks is that the honor and the things that we can do for the veterans. And it's
What do we got? About 10 people that serve on the committee?
11.
11 people.
11. Okay, but also the Elks are really community oriented, and I wanted to just touch on some of the programs that they do in case you were interested in some of those. The Elks do a National Foundation Scholarship Program. I wish I had the numbers of how many millions of dollars that the Elks give nationally to graduating students. Unbelievable. It's in the millions of dollars. We do a hoop shoot. I'm sure you've heard of that, where the youth come out, and it's kind of like the kick, punt, and throw contest, where they shoot free throws, and they can go all the way to a national competition if they win locally and then state, and then the Elks send them off to the national championship, and again for scholarship money. We have the Elks National Memorial, which is built in 1926 to honor American Veteran Service. We have, of course, veteran services. The Elks are committed to the mission so long as there are veterans. The Benevolent and Protective Order Elks will never forget them. We do community investments. I'm going to move right along. We do a drug awareness where this
That's
weekend,
a big one. Yeah, drug awareness is a big one. Yeah.
Elroy the Elk will be down at Art in the Park, and the Elks will have a booth there where they'll be handing out drug awareness stuff. They're almost always at giveaways, like Halloween, things like that, so we can give away drug awareness stuff. Kind of cool.
Well, the Elks is really good about giving away stuff, huh? Like at the Cochise Serving Veteran, or the Resource Fair.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, by the way.
That was a lot of fun.
I truly enjoyed it. I really did.
And you had a lot of good baggies to give away.
They were going like hotcakes.
We were the belle of the ball.
Yeah, doodly.
Yeah, as we were classified as.
Again, we do the soccer shootout, which is similar to the hoop shoot, where kids can compete locally and then state, nationally.
Okay.
Junior golf. We do an Americanism essay contest where schools are encouraged to have their 5th and 6th graders write Americanism essays. The committee judges them. They bring their families, the winners and the runners-up, to a big banquet. The winners read their essay, and they're given scholarship awards. We have a dictionary project where we get dictionaries into the schools. We do antlers, where the junior membership with the Antlers program, they collect up the antlers and they use them to make items to be sold for the charities. And youth recognition, where the Elks are always recognizing youth for the Boy Scouts or things that they've done for the community. Or
speaking of the Boy Scouts, I don't know what the troop is at the Elks that does it, but boy, they step up. They did such a fantastic job.
Right,
we saw Flag Day.
444.
444. Thank you. Yeah,
Troop 444. If anybody knows anybody with Boy Scout Troop 444.
Yeah, they did an awesome
We work hand in hand
job
with them.
Yep,
they are an awesome group.
During
Bunch of killer kids.
Flag Day. That was tremendous.
They came out and they carried the flags out. They do that for us every year, and it's and great bunch of guys, leaders.
I'm just so happy to see things starting to get back to a sense of normalcy now, and I think a lot of veterans like the camaraderie, with other veterans.
Sure.
That's why I'm so happy that the Oktoberfest is this weekend, because I'm thinking a lot of people are probably going to be coming to this. I've heard little talk from my wife. She's a school teacher. Some of the teachers are like, "Oh, well, we're going to go there tonight," as a matter of fact. And,
it's a good time.
Yeah.
You got the oompa band. People will be dancing. It's a very, very good time.
And then
family friendly.
And then speaking of the Elks National Foundation and stuff like that, have you been to the Grand Lodge in Chicago? Have you been there?
I have not. No.
I got lucky and was able to go because my dad kind of said, "Michael, you're going to be in Chicago." This was in 2008. You've got to go. And when you go, it is so awe-inspiring. They have all these old military uniforms from different services, like back in World War I and World War II, and they got these displays. And then, oh my gosh!
Well, the Elks, it's really a historic.
It is
organization. It started off as the Jolly Corkers.
Really.
That's true, the Jolly Corkers, and then it moved into the Elks. But that was like 1926 or something like that. I'm kind of guessing at that date, but yeah. That's and have always been, one of the prime pillars of the Elkdom is to recognize and never forget our veterans.
Now, not all of the Elks are veterans, but there's a really good majority of membership that is an Elk that is also a veteran.
Well, Elks, and if I could pitch the Elks a little more, one of the things that I think the reason you said veterans and Elks kind of go hand in hand is because we have an Americanism committee, which promotes Americanism,
Right.
you know. And I like to say that when you go into the Elks, you're going to run into people of the same mind as you. You know, people that believe in God, people that believe in America, people that believe in family, people that believe in friendship and fellowship, and things like that. I mean, if you bring up the American flag and whether it should be burned or not, that's going to be a one-sided argument in the Elks.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's people in there that, you know, have given blood for the flag, and
I love how they do the Pledge of Allegiance and everything, you know. I mean, they're very
always honoring the flag. We always fly the American flag and the POW flag at the lodge, 24 hours, 365.
Even when we start bingo, we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. Very American oriented. So.
And speaking of bingo, it did start back up at the Elks, and that's on Thursday nights.
Thursday evenings and Friday mornings.
Friday mornings. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're a bingo player, get up off the couch, get your daubers.
Say hi to my wife.
Yeah. Is there Ed? We wanted to also I know we're running long, and I'm sorry, but there's just so much great information here, and I haven't done a show in a while, so we'll wrap it up here shortly. But I want to talk about the TAP program, mm-hmm. and Ed Stone here is the one that knows everything about the TAP program, and if you don't know what TAP stands for,
so it's actually called SFL TAP, which is Soldier for Life Transition Assistant Program.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it helps you as a military member transition from military life into that civilian life, because we know how much of a struggle that can be, because somebody that served for quite a while, all right, that now you're going to take off one uniform, all right, and now you're going to put on a different kind of uniform, or you're going into a different entirely atmosphere, that it can really be stressful.
Sure.
I know when I started my whole process a year plus ago, I was a hot mess. I really truly was, and that's the God's honest truth.
Stepping into the private sector,
because we have not been a civilian for quite a few years, a lot of years, right. And you know, what's it going to be like now that we're going to be retired and being not in that uniform and stuff anymore.
Right.
So, but what they do is they have a lot of different programs that they'll put together, from writing your resume to sitting down, doing an actual interview, setting you up for job fairs, you know, and just, you know,
useful, very useful.
Yeah, they're like counselors and stuff over there as well to kind of point you in the right direction, what it is to help you become successful now that the military portion and stuff is over with, and prepare you and stuff for the actual civilian portion. But great people over there. There's two ladies and stuff I talked to, Miss Christine Placendia and then Sonia Vasquez. They are my two counselors and stuff over there.
Okay.
And great people, really truly are. Love them right to death, and for what they do for.
What I'll do is if it's okay, I'll publish their.
Sure.
I'll take a picture with my phone when we're done here, and I'll get the phone numbers off of here, and then I'll post them in the comment section, so that if we do have anybody watching that's currently active duty, getting
mm-hmm.
ready to get out, retire, then they can call.
Sure.
Contact them.
Or just give me a holler.
You know? And that's another thing. Do you want me to list your contact information, or you'd like to keep that private, or an email address?
I'm fine.
Anyway, they can catch us, because I was also going to ask you about maybe we have somebody watching that might want to become an elk.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
like I said, I'll be working the grill and stuff tonight and tomorrow night. So if you come out for
food booth, beer booth.
Hey, that's a great way to find out, right?
Yeah, come out
to the Oktoberfest.
Sure, come out and see us, and
meet some other elks, you know, things like that.
We'll give you a burger or whatever and stuff, you know, and we can chat a little bit.
Also, we have a birthday to celebrate today.
Oh, that's right.
Should we sing her happy birthday? Go ahead and wish her happy birthday first.
Happy birthday, River. My 13-year-old granddaughter turning 13 today. So
I forgot to mention that.
Very proud of her.
Teenager. So that's awesome.
Teenager.
Shall we sing her happy birthday?
Real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
On double time. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear River. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, that wasn't bad.
Not bad at all, man. Yeah. We need one more.
Because we did it so fast, everybody really can't tell us, hey, we really can't sing. Yeah. It's all good, though. It is fun. It really
the Elks do karaoke, too, so come on out.
Oh, man, I was going to try out for American Idol, and they told me I was too old.
That's it.
I did not know that they had an age limit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for joining us. If you could hang
been
out
fun.
here for just a couple of minutes, I got a few quick announcements I want to peruse over
Thank
here
you
for
for having
the
us.
Warrior Healing Center. I got to say, Ed Stone and Ed Mealy, two great guys there that are with the Elks, and I can't thank you enough for coming on today and joining us. And
Thank you for having us.
it was our pleasure. Our pleasure indeed. So starting today, from 10 o'clock, which was about an hour and 15 minutes ago, to 1400 hours is the 2021 Southeastern Arizona Fall. It's a hiring fair. It's going on at the mall at Sierra Vista. And tomorrow, October 2nd, we have the NAMI 5th Annual Sky Island Bike Tour, and that's going to be at the Windermere. You can register for that at skyislandtour.com. On Monday, October 4th, from 1730 to 1830 hours, is the 5 Treasures of Qigong. Do you know what that is?
No.
Kind of like a yoga exercising thing that they have.
Kung Fu in slow motion.
Yeah.
My
Kind of
body
like
doesn't move like that.
the Karate Kid stuff. Yeah.
Sure, wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Let's go see the
On Tuesday, October 5th,
What's up, Mr.
at
McGarvey?
1635, it's going to have the American Legion Riders Honor Ride in support of the National Night Out. It's for the American Legion Post 52, and that'll be again on Tuesday, October 5th at 1635 hours. Here's a really, well, these are all important if you ask me, but another good one here is on Tuesday, October 5th from 1700 to 2000 hours is the SVPD National Night Out at the Veterans Memorial Park.
Ah.
On Thursday, October 7th, from 1700 to 1830, they have the Vets Flute Cycle, or Circle. I just happened to see this little note here, so I thought I'd pick it up and kind of show you. This is I don't think you can see it that well, but anyhow, I'll read it real quick. It's Flutes for Vets. You learn to play the Native American style flute for free and feel the peace of this ancient instrument. You do not need to know anything about music to learn how to play. After 8 classes and demonstration of minimal skills, you will be eligible for a free flute. And that's going to be start on October 7th again, here at the Warrior Healing Center, 1700 to 1830 hours. On Saturday, October 9th, at 0800, starting at 0800, there's the American Legion Post 52 inaugural charity golf tournament. That's going to be held up on Fort Huachuca at Mountain View Golf Course. So I want to thank our guests once again for joining us, and Michael Zehr here from the Warrior Healing Center. Great to be back online. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. And don't forget the Oktoberfest. Oh, wait a minute. Kathy said, let me throw this in here real quick because it's important. If I can get, there we go. Flutes for Vets is easy to learn and good people. The flutes that you earn are beautifully wood carved. It's a very cool program. Debbie, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, take care. Have a great weekend. Don't forget Oktoberfest. Peace.
God bless America.
God bless America.
I'll be on the grill.